cameras, action. Now let's engage in the dialogue. Let me browse through your mind like a catalog. Conscious metaphysics, allow me to break down the specifics. Educate, motivate. If you don't feel free, you can liberate. An LLC is what I'm building, the #1 podcast in the building. So let me slide on up in the Bentley truck in my Versace shirts. They can't get enough of this deep conversation, expansion, elevation. I'll send you a link you can tap in. It ain't quite what I used to do back then. Now I get it on the front and the back end. Multiple money streams keep coming in. Enlightened, empower, evolve. Enlightened, empower, evolve.
Just in time. Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I believe everyone's doing well and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm excited again, and you know why? Because I always enjoy engaging in empowering dialogues from around the world, and today is no exception. I have an amazing guest today who is the founder of Soulspace Healing, an author, teacher, speaker, psychic, Reiki, Medicare practitioner, and it's just so much more for me to even list. Without further ado, I introduce to you Bola. How are you doing today, Bola?
I am doing great, Lou. Thanks for having me. I love your show. It's really
Yes.
nice to be here.
Yes, and I am so thankful. I believe that time is one of our most precious assets, and just for you to spend some of your time here with me, I just appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, so let's just get it right into it. So you're founder of Soulspace Healing. Let's start right there. What is that? Give us a little feedback on that Soulspace Healing that you founded.
Yes, thanks, Lou.
Yeah.
Soulspace Healing is my practice here in the UK.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
based in London, UK, and I have clients from all over the world that I see with regards to energy healing. That's the sole purpose of Soulspace Healing, because
Right.
I believe we are energy beings.
Right.
You know, we are physical beings, but at the very core, we are really energy beings. So energy healing is my core practice. And I also do trauma recovery work. I'm a certified trauma recovery coach. So this is about letting go of our inner child limitations. We've all gone through trauma in childhood, and inner child healing is key. If we are going to be really functional adults, me here too, you know, we all have been through that. So inner child healing is key if we are really going to become our functional, higher self. And that is part of the work I do in Soulspace Healing. I also do business clarity work, which is really helping men and women from all over the world to really understand what it is that they really want to do in terms of their business. Because really you can have all the passion in the world, but if you're not clear about what it is that you have to offer, what it is are your gifts. And I believe that in life, from the very moment we're born, the families we're born into, the experiences we have, it is all gearing us to develop certain gifts, certain talents. And we sometimes need to be really mindful to pick up on what those things are. And then we can really begin to soar, to fly. And that is part of the work I do. So Soulspace Healing is about threefold practice. It's energy healing, trauma recovery, and business clarity.
Wow. So elegantly and very clear in the intentions and what you do. And that is amazing. And I picked up on a few key things in regards to childhood trauma. I mean, wow. Yeah, we all have that. And how we start off our lives really, how we're indoctrinated with different ideas and fears and all that. That all has a lot to do with everything to do with who we become. And that's just amazing how you are deep diving into this and helping people to eradicate certain things or rewire and reprogram those
That's
things.
it.
And
That's
I
it.
believe that's very important
It
and
is.
amazing. Also, so let me ask you this. What um was there a specific moment that geared you to start doing things like this? I mean, how did you have you always been a person that um okay, I want to be careful how I put this, but you know,
Mm.
intuitive in regards to like helping people and I
Yeah.
mean, how'd you get into this?
Yeah, yeah. It was a part of my makeup. I think
Okay,
teaching from a very young age, at about 4 years old, I get my
okay,
younger
see,
brothers.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I get my younger brothers. We had a blackboard at home, and I get my younger brothers to sit down in front of me, and I'll have a chalk, and I'll tell them stories,
oh,
and
okay,
so I was doing that from a very young age, and I was a
okay,
stutterer. I was
okay,
born a stutterer. And my father was also a stutterer, but he was a barrister as well. So he
okay,
he kind of always told me, he always said, take your time to speak.
right,
And whoever needs to listen will listen. And whoever doesn't need to be there will leave. Just say what you need to say and breathe as you say it. So from a very
wow,
young age, I
wow,
was already into growth, into breathing, into staying calm. Because if I didn't stay calm, I couldn't get the words out. So even to this day, I still have to stay calm in order to talk. So stuttering is something that started off as something I brought into this world to really focus on calmness and breathing. And my father helped me through that from a very, very young age. And when he
that,
passed at the age of 11, I was quite devastated. That was the first trauma, apart from the stuttering, because stuttering brings its own challenges for a kid. You're bullied, you go through all kinds of, issues and shame and all of that stuff. So my father passing at the age of 11 was very traumatic. And how did I really begin to become self-aware? My
right,
mother was a librarian, and there was a bookshelf in every room in the house. So at about the age of 16, I saw a book on the shelves titled Who Am I? And the book was by Ramana Maharishi. I did not know who he was at the time, but the book was my first step into understanding the ego and the higher self. Now, this is why I love reading so much, because books plant seeds in our minds. Even if we
yes,
do not understand what we're reading, it is planting a seed that will grow. And that book, Who Am I, began to grow a seed in my mind as to self-awareness. And I began to develop my self-awareness. First of all, learning that pain and limitations come from within me. That's the very first level. When something is happening and I'm feeling pain, it's not something to blame someone else about. It's coming from within me. So that was the first level of self-awareness. And then I moved on to reading so many other books. And one of them really helped me to understand that I am a creator. And whatever it is that's happening around me, manifesting, is coming from my thoughts, the beliefs I'm holding, and the perceptions of those beliefs, the definitions I'm holding, the words I'm saying. That's another level of self-awareness. And there's another level of self-awareness where you are really beginning to see synchronicities. This is the meaning of this. This is how this fits into this. And I began to understand more about self-awareness and of synchronicities. This is coming from our own, our own mindset. The things that we are thinking about lead us to follow our intuition into different things. We attract different things depending on our level of awareness and the frequency which we're vibrating. Then there's another level of awareness where you're one with God. And that is a oneness. That is, there is nothing separate. We're not separate. You and I in this podcast, there is something that we are both. This is a contract. This was meant to happen. It's not a coincidence. and you realize that there is a oneness to everything happening around you. And then there's another level of awareness, which is where I think the Buddhas and the, and the Christ fall into. And they are much, much higher frequencies. They're the 5-dimensional levels of awareness. But over the years, I've developed my self-awareness, and it's all written in my book. There's a book I've written called Daily Soul Bites for an Inspired Life. And it's on
That's
Amazon.
what I was going to ask you next. I apologize
Yes.
for disrupting your
But
flow.
that's really the
But
journey.
you already knew what I was going to ask you next. That's why you're saying that. So yes, elaborate a bit more, please, Queen, on your book.
Yes. So that self-awareness is something that I think is key, because otherwise we are living in this illusion. We are thinking that we are victims, and that we are thinking that things are being done to us, and we do not claim our power. We are such powerful beings. We are like magical warlords and war queens that can begin to make differences in our preferred areas, the things that we seek. We can begin to attune our minds just by being more self-aware of the limitations that we have in our beliefs and holding more empowering beliefs. And this is what the book is about. Daily Soul Bites are daily nuggets of inspiration for the soul. So every day you read something, and this is something I wrote this book in 2020. Okay. And it was something to do with me exploring different things about, different topics like joy, like laughter, like and things like driving. What makes driving so similar to life? You're driving down the road and you've got yourself checking out things almost subconsciously. You are looking at hazards without even knowing that they're there. You're picking up on hazards. You're going through corners. You're checking out streetlights. You're checking out who is going to be coming out from the next corner. You are going somewhere, but you're keeping an eye out for the things around you. Self-awareness. And when you read this book from beginning to end, you would have shifted your self-awareness from stage 1 to stage 4. Because what you're doing is you are understanding the beliefs, you're changing your perspectives, you're beginning to understand your own self, your own thoughts. Because our thoughts are powerful. They can bring us down or take us up. And what I do in this book is allow a deeper examination and exploration of our own perspectives. And it's really powerful. So I was doing that in 2020 when we had this lockdown. And yes. I began to, and that's how I published the book, and I put it on Amazon. And I'm offering it to any of your listeners who buy it and who put a review. I will offer them a one-to-one session with me. Where they can they can have a choice of either Reiki energy healing, or they can have a business clarity session or a trauma recovery session with me. And all they have to do, it's only $6 for, £4 here in the UK. And you can actually get a one-to-one session with me to look at something of your choice. But it's such a powerful book because it allows us to touch on our self-awareness and to grow it. Because self-awareness is something that we have to grow, but it's the basic foundation for our evolution, for our expansion, for our enlightenment. Self-awareness is key for our mental health as well, which is another thing that I always am mindful of as a parent of a child with special needs.
Okay. The name of the book again, please.
It's called Daily Soul, as in S-O-U-L, Daily Soul Bites, as in B-Y-T-E-S.
Daily Soul, as in
Bites. Soul as in S-O-U-L, and bites as in B-Y-T-E-S. Daily Soul Bites. I coined that phrase. Daily Soul Bites for an inspired life.
Okay. Daily Soul Bites for an inspired life, and it has a pink cover.
Yes, you've seen it. Yes, that
I'm looking at it
because I actually signed a publishing contract with Balboa Press, a division of Hay House, last week for this book.
Okay,
So
so it's
the
on
cover
Kindle
may
right
change.
now.
It is on Kindle, but we are going to republish it and make it available paperback as well as audiobook format. So
Okay.
that is that's happened just last week. So that's interesting.
Okay, because I'm looking at it right now, but yeah, you can see it. I don't know if you can see it here a bit.
You might want to take it back a little bit. Yes.
It's not showing. But anyway, I have it here. So yes, Daily Soul Bites. Yeah, that's amazing. Yes, I didn't want to stop your flow, but I'm sure you know that most everything that you said I resonated with. I mean, all these levels of consciousness is what I
Yeah.
have been actively, I would say, developing and working on daily with my reading, with watching, being the observer of my experiences. I'm just filling you in on me a bit.
Yes.
Reading, like, this is one of the latest books I'm reading.
We are gods. Oh, brilliant.
Yes, yeah, that's
Yes,
by
we are.
yeah.
Your
So
yogi. Love
yeah,
that.
so yeah. And prior to that, I was reading this book here.
Prosperity through the knowledge and power of the mind. Powerful.
Yes.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
just to give you a little rundown on everything that you said. So working on myself in regards to being aware of the words that I say, being mindful how I say it,
Yeah.
knowing that anything that occurs is something that's reciprocating from my thoughts, my actions. Not saying that outside things can't happen, but we have what I'm learning is we have choices as to how we perceive those things. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
um, my transformation, I would say per se, started, um, unlike you, who already was a genius at 4 years old. But no, no, and I really mean that. You are that is amazing. Um, but I would say about 6 years ago, that's when I realized to stop in the situations that I was going through. That I um, say that allowed me to look inside and stop blaming, because I started looking at
Yeah.
situations at what's the common denominator in these situations? Me. No matter what I feel that someone else is doing to me at the time, I thought that. What's the common denominator? Why is the same thing reoccurring?
Mhm.
So I got that's what started me on this journey of self empowerment, self
Yeah.
awareness, developing my consciousness, and just exactly those steps that you say is what I am doing, developing daily, and what the purpose of this podcast is. It started in 2020 when
Mhm.
we are on lockdown, because I said, I want to be able to reach people and highlight others that are on similar journeys, maybe, and I don't want to label it lower or higher, but just to give people a perspective, um, different levels of consciousness, different
Mhm.
levels of awareness, and highlight that. And
Mhm.
that'll help other people as well as myself. Just like engaging in this dialogue is, I'm not sure if I'm using the right words, but I say I am
I
using
get it.
uh,
Yes.
is
Yes.
helping me, is developing me, and it's helping everyone else, and it's stimulating. It's like the term steel sharpens steel. So we're all
Yes.
on our own, and like you said, nothing happens on accident. This was meant to happen. I'm meant
Yes.
to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm focused on that. So it's amazing. So I want to continue to do these podcasts, and it's
Yes.
who I am. And the
Yes.
thing is, I've said this before, But I'll say it again. The purpose of this podcast, even though I monetize it because I believe that everyone should be everyone's labor or whatever passions are worth
Oh,
being
yeah.
compensated for. But at the same time,
Service from a place of comfort. Yes,
yes, but at
that's
the
it.
same time, my purpose of this is not centered around monetary gain. It's
Mm.
centered around um, being a better person, reaching my higher self levels of consciousness and helping others do the same, assisting others and being, a piece in other people's development as well. And at the same time, I love doing it. It's
Yeah.
fun. It
Yeah.
enhances my life. I love talking to people and I love listening to people. So it's amazing.
Mm.
So yes, I encourage everyone to go on Amazon and get your book. And I love reading physical copies, but I will go on there and do the Kindle. I haven't
Mm.
read a book on Kindle, but maybe I should try it. So maybe your book will be the first one I try. And the name
And
again
if
is
you and if you leave daily soul bites for an inspired life, and if you leave a review, you will get a one-to-one with me. And I would
okay.
look forward to that. So the
Okay.
review is key. So once a review is left, and then I will, the details to contact me are in the
Right.
book. And
Right.
I will set up that one-to-one. And it could be used for Reiki energy healing or for business clarity or for trauma recovery, because mental health is key. No matter
Right.
what is going on around us, our mental health as parents, as business leaders, as educators, as light workers is so key.
Right. 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 That's amazing. And there's another key thing that you said that you touched upon in regards to and I'm trying to remember because I was listening to you. You're stuttering, okay? Um,
Mm.
it's not a coincidence that I just created a quote that I just put up the other day, and it says, "Stay focused and balanced. Stay focused, balanced, and at peace, especially during adverse moments." So that reminded me of what you said about staying calm and you know not panicking. I just put that up.
Yes. Stay focused, balanced, and at peace, especially during adverse moments. And this is the most difficult thing to do. If
Right,
you have been raised in a very traumatic situation where the attachment with your parents was either disorganized or
right,
avoidant or ambivalent. I mean, imagine being raised where there's no food in the house or there is no shelter. You're not going to feel safe. You're not going to feel secure. You're not going to feel soothed. You're not going to feel seen. And these are the four things that allow us to do those very things that quote says. You cannot stay calm if you're not feeling safe. You
right.
cannot stay calm if you're not feeling secure. So moving from that place of insecurity, of feeling ambivalent, of feeling avoidant, moving from that place to a place where you can do exactly that requires recovery from the trauma that all of that causes. And that is what trauma recovery is. It's being
Wow.
self-aware of those things and then being able, because those things, it's easy to say it, but to actually do it, to
Right.
actually stay calm. Nothing on the outside now bothers me because I know I'm creating it and it's all about what am I learning from this? What am
I
I learning from this?
you know what?
This is so key.
I'm sorry, but the more you say that, that's why I keep closing my eyes because that is so powerful. And it's like, not only do I want to know this, but I want to apply this because I can say that I'm still working on that aspect, even though I know it. I
Yes.
want to embody that
Yes. That's the
because there
difference.
are moments that I have allowed, and I'm careful how I say this because I'm not owning it. I have allowed um, outside things, other people's um, energy, perspectives to um, affect me instead of, even though I know that I have my own power, and what other people say, do, whatever has nothing to do with me. So I am working to get to where you are now. And that's amazing. That's why
Of
it makes me
course.
feel so great when I hear you say that. It's empowering.
Because
Yes.
we have this avatar body. This
Right.
body is
Right.
the avatar. And this
Avatar.
body contains all the different identities, the different parts of us, the teacher, the light worker, the parent, the business person. And then you have that room, the room where the avatar is in. So I'm in this room. This avatar is in this room. I'm in the chair. I've got the furniture. And then there's the room. And then the time comes when we realize that we are actually the room, including the avatar. That avatar is that ego self that contains all the identity, and we need that ego self. We need that avatar, but we are not the avatar. Our true self is the actual room that contains everything. When we begin to see, and it takes a mindful focus, radical detachment, self awareness to really begin to see ourselves as that room. And it's practice, daily practice, using a number of different modalities. Energy healing is only one modality, a number of different modalities that will help us to embody that knowledge of ourselves as the room. And we will begin to love that avatar. The relationship between the avatar has to surrender to the room. That avatar has to surrender in true loving, unconditional loving self. It has to surrender to the room. And that is a process that I teach in my trauma recovery classes in order for us to really begin to embody that true self that we are, which is the higher self, which is the room. that that truth becomes much more practical in our day-to-day. As a parent, people say, oh, Bola, you can't, are you even living in this universe? My son has severe autism and learning difficulties. He's now 26 years old. So I definitely am living in the real world. And I have
Right.
to
Of
deal
course.
with that. I have to
Absolutely.
deal with him every single day. But
Yes.
it is not about what is happening to me. It's about what I'm creating and
Right.
how this experience has made me who I am.
Right.
This experience
That's
of being a single mother of two sons, and one of them who has really challenged me. Not, very few things challenge me, but he challenges me.
right.
And this is about how I have come to understand the role that he's playing in my life, the role I'm playing in his life, and now we actually do enjoy each other. Just last week, we were in the hospital because he had an operation. There are still challenges that life presents.
Yes.
Life will
Yes.
still present challenges. How do you deal with those as your
That's
avatar or as your higher self? How do you deal with it? It becomes such an adventure when you're dealing with it as your higher self. Synchronicities, people working with you, it's like magic. And
yes.
we become much more thankful to that oneness, to that God self
Right.
that we carry. We become much more thankful to that as we
Yes.
walk as our true selves.
And that's what I was going to interject on is you said very few things challenge you, and um, I was going to say that right there is, in my perspective, there's a positive and a negative to that because, but then you went on and then to say basically that these challenges really are what we need
Oh yeah.
to help us grow.
Grow.
And
To
that's what I was
grow.
going to say anyway. Like, if someone
Oh
says they're
yeah.
not being challenged, then that means they aren't doing anything. Yeah, we need to be challenged. But I do understand at the same time what you said, that you've developed such a level of awareness and consciousness, um, um, the things that pose a challenge to someone else that hasn't reached that level yet, um, does not shift you, does not get you unbalanced. And I do understand that. And that's what I
Yeah.
picked up from you. And
Yeah.
that's amazing
Yeah.
because
Perspective.
that,
Mm.
yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Perspective matters.
Perspective
When
matters.
when the challenge comes, when the cancellation comes, when the letter you don't want to receive comes, you need to go within. You need to go within. It's not about anybody else. It's not about the outside. The outside is only a reflection. And I need to now go within to understand what this means and to let it go. To let it go. There's a lot of things we need to let go of that we sometimes hold, and it creates resistance. It creates resistance. So when that challenge comes, sometimes it's about learning to let go and allow what needs to come in without resistance. It's a practice.
Yes,
It's real life practice, Lute.
yes, it's a practice. It's an ongoing, I would say practice. I would add the word process. Um,
Yes.
and it's
Yes.
ongoing. Like a lot of people from my perspective, even my own, and I'll just put this out there, feel that the process of developing oneself and one's taking charge of one's life, of one's, you know, self-awareness and empowerment, that is just a something that you just work on like a chore one time. No, it's ongoing
Oh my goodness. It's till death
because
do us part.
yeah, you reach certain levels and
Yeah.
you got to keep reinforcing even the levels that you reach. And
Yeah.
then there's something else. It's always going to be a process of unfolding, in my perspective. And that, depending on even that perspective, you can find positives and negatives within that. But that's what life is all about, contrast as well. So, you know, even myself have been misled to think that I'm going to reach a certain place in my life where everything is quote unquote positive. But at the same time, that's perspective, because then everything can be positive no matter what. Like you say, it's perspective. Like, okay, this particular thing happened, but there's two perspectives in the way that you can look at that. Look at it as something that's destroying you or something that's just unfortunate, and then focus on that, or focus on uh, what is this meant to teach me? How can
That's
I
it.
become stronger from this? Now you
That's
have
it.
even more knowledge than you had before because of this situation,
Yes.
and it's amazing. And like you
And
said,
even when we're having the ups and downs, you see, we're
right,
not going you know, we're actually going like that. And each time we go down, we're going we don't go down the same way we went down last time.
right,
You know what I mean? We're actually going up higher than we did last time, and we're not going as low as we did last time. So we're
right,
actually going up and down, and we're going higher, higher each time. We're not going up and down in one line like that. We're actually
right,
going like that. We're going higher each time we go up. We're going higher. Each time we come down, we don't come down as low as we did the last time because we are much more resilient if we are putting in the practice.
practice,
This
right,
is it. We can add, and it's a choice. I do not think everybody is here to ascend in the same way.
right,
And I
right,
think it's a choice. It's a choice. There's some of us who are happy to do the strict 9 to 5, and that is okay. And there's some of us who really do not want that. We actually want much more freedom with our time, with our passion. And we are, there are nearly 8 billion people on Earth. I think there are 8 billion themes. We're all here to do different things,
things,
and that
right,
is okay. That
right,
is definitely okay. It's
yes.
all about choice.
Yes,
It's all about choice.
just like my choice is one of those ones that are ascending, like you said, and connecting with others who are doing the same. And
Yeah.
just, yeah, that's amazing. And it, like you said, everybody doesn't want when it resonates with me when you talk about everybody, basically in my own terms, don't want to put in the work, because it is every day.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
but it's enjoyable. I don't look at it. I don't even like to attach the word work to it, because it's become
Yeah,
who I am. Reading for 2 hours a day, studying, listening to others' perspectives, different um, information on the internet, doing self-reflection, writing my affirmations, writing what I'm thankful for. Just the process, to me, it's ongoing, and everyone doesn't want to do that. To me,
Yeah.
I want to do that. I want to
Yeah.
continue to
Me too.
grow and expand and draw in to me experiences such as this here,
Yeah.
with you. I want to continue to purposely do that, because we're, regardless of whether we're taking charge or not, we're going to uh, attract experiences to us. So if
Yes.
you want to purposely take charge and be aware of that, be the observer of those experiences, and be more in, I would say, control of those
Yeah.
experiences, then yes, you do the work. But if you're okay with, you know, how things are, and just leaving things to what you think is chance, what really isn't chance, it's still you.
It's
Then
about being honest,
it's
being
about being
honest with
honest.
ourselves.
Right, exactly.
Is this is the path we are living, is our lives fulfilling? Is our life fulfilling? Are we living the
Right.
things
That's what it is.
that we
Yes, yes.
want? You know,
Wow. You just
and
simplified that so much.
being
You-
honest with our own self from the heart. Is this the life that I want to live? Am I happy? Is
Right.
it possible to be happy? It is. I can say that it is, no matter what, because I have severe issues,
Right.
that I have overcome.
Right.
And I can say that it is possible to be truly blissful every single day, no matter what, because of the perspective that you will hold. Whatever comes, the perspective that you will hold will put you in a place of bliss. It's possible. I've been broke, I've been bankrupt, I've been kidnapped, I've been at gunpoint, been through all of that, and you can overcome all of that and shine still from a place of honesty, raising your self awareness. So it's possible. So not to give up, not to give up. And it's not work, it's fulfillment. It's doing what fulfills us, and it can become quite pleasurable. Reading my books, doing my Reiki every morning, my meditation. I run meditation classes. I have a monthly meditation coming up this Saturday. Every first Saturday of the month, I run a meditation class, a group meditation class, and we discuss. We reflect on what's gone on this week, and it's all about embodying stillness. Because when we can come to still the thoughts in our minds, we really begin to see how powerful we can be. Those thoughts run around, 60,000, about 90,000 thoughts going on in our heads every minute. How do we begin to still those thoughts in order to begin to allow the higher self to drive us into that place of bliss? It's possible.
Amazing. Amazing. I appreciate you, Bola, coming on to this show. I appreciate everyone watching. It's just amazing. Don't forget to get that book. Thank you, everyone. Check out the website, 333empower.com. And this conversation was so amazing. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I'll see you soon. Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved.